Good afternoon, YouTube. Fat Cat Collections back at you once again with another Invicta watch review. And today this isn't really a review, but this is one of what I like to call my side-by-sides. It's one of my comparison videos, and I have a whole list, and I'll just show you the list real quick. And naturally, this is a list I printed a couple months ago. So this is about, 10 pages long of generated side-by-side comparisons of each and every watch that I have in my collection. Again, not every watch, but of the ones that I really like that I'm going to be doing side-by-sides with. Basically the ones I think people want to watch. You know, I'm not really sure necessarily if somebody wants to compare an Invicta Zeus Bolt to, let's say, an older Addy K watch I got, 20 years ago. Not many people are searching for those, so I tend to try to do side-by-sides that I think are popular. And let's face it, Invicta watches are extremely popular, and so are the Android watches. So I try to do that. I'll compare it to a couple diesel watches and whatever else I get in my collection. But today I'm going to be comparing the Invicta Subaqua Specialty, my newest watch, to the second newest watch, my Invicta Zeus Bolt, both done in a rose tone and yellow tone gold combination. Now these are two of my favorite watches, and I have to tell you, after getting the Zeus Bolt in rose tone, it really made me realize how important color is on the watch. And now I already have a silver tone Zeus Bolt that I got about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I love it. But is it one of my favorite watches? Absolutely not. But, however, with that being said, it's amazing how just the right color combo has turned this watch into one of my most favorite watches in my collection now. So, which pushes me, from now on, to really, I guess, buy gold watches. That's really my favorite color combo. Not to say that I won't buy a silver watch, I definitely will, but I have a lot of silver watches in my collection. And right now, my tastes are really leaning towards the gold. And, man, I absolutely love these two watches. And I just want to say one more thing about Invicta. I tell you, I am just having so much fun reviewing these watches and sharing my passion with the rest of the world. I get compliments and comments and comments every single day that I ended up getting a second cell phone so that I can go ahead and use this one strictly for my watch stuff, my watch reviews and my website, and then one for my personal stuff, the fun stuff, I guess not really fun stuff, but like family, friends, stuff like that. So it's been a lot of fun actually going throughout the day and responding to people's comments, trying to help them out make a purchase. So Invicta lovers, I am here for you. Let me know what you need. But what I absolutely love about this passion is that through Facebook, which is a website that tons of people are on nowadays, I met some really cool people, and you can real-time communicate a lot easier and share videos and posts and pictures a lot easier than you necessarily can on YouTube. So subscribers up to 2,719 and growing. If you haven't found me on Facebook already, please go ahead and do so. It's Facebook /PK Watches, okay? Username PK Watches, or you can just search Fat Cat Watches Facebook on Google, and you'll find me there as well. But it's been really cool. I met a really interesting guy yesterday, and I met, like I said, many really cool people. That's what was so cool about this Invicta watch collecting, hobby or passion, is that I kind of have always said that I compare Invicta owners to almost like Harley riders, where Harley riders, they don't necessarily collect motorcycles, but they collect and ride Harleys. And now, although I'm not a huge motorcycle fan, I do own a motorcycle. It's something that sits in the garage most of the time. I should probably sell it and get a boat, but it's a crotch rocket, and they're very dangerous, and I don't know. I kind of like I used to ride a lot more when I was younger, when I had friends who rode bikes. So it'll sit in the garage for now. It looks cool sitting there. So, but my point was that Invicta collectors, a lot of them really specifically collect Invictas, and I understand why. There are so many amazing, unique, and interesting models with Invicta that, I'm sorry, but the competition, in my opinion, just can't compare. I mean, I was, just to go off a little more about this here, I was looking at buying a black watch, which I did, and like I said, I ended up returning it because I just wanted to get the right one. It was a beautiful watch, all black excursion, and not to ramble on too much here before we begin the review, but you got to bear with me for at least 5-6 minutes. I started looking into, I really want a black watch with diamonds on it, and a couple people recommended Luxor Man watches, and I have to say, I've never seen one in person, but for what I can tell by the pictures, and what's listed on there, there's no movement listed. You have no Swiss rondas or Swiss movements whatsoever. No Seiko movements. They're quartz, which is fine, but it's a pretty cheap quartz movement. Now, I don't know, but because usually when they don't list the movement, it's generally not worth listing, so it's very, very basic. You know, and you're paying for like a basic black watch, which isn't even chunky and huge like an Invicta watch. You're paying like $300 for just a few, like not even a carat of stones. And I'm like, man, I just cannot rationalize spending that on something with a little bit of ice. So, I don't know, maybe down the road I'll find a black Invicta that I really want. Maybe I could take it to a jeweler and have him recess some black spile or onyx in the bezel to make it more my liking. But I just, again, I'm amazed with the quality and how much you get for Invicta. But it's amazing that most people aren't saying anything bad about brands like Freeze Diamond Watches and Joe Gino. All these watches, I mean, they don't even have their movements listed. And really, I mean, you're paying a premium for them. And I'm just saying, you know, like Invicta, at least you're getting a brand that they list their movements. You know that you're getting a quality movement in 99% of their watches. And it just blows me away the amount of watch you get for the money. And which brings me to what I was saying before, the passion that this watch brand creates amongst people. It just blows me away. And I met a gentleman, talked to him right now. I want to screw up his name. His name is Faraz, I believe it's what it is. He's from, and I only mention this because this guy has got a collection that knocks your socks off. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because you're going to notice in the next few weeks, I'll be uploading a couple of videos that are not me. Now, they'll have my introduction. I normally don't edit my videos, but these videos I'm going to edit together, and I'm going to have me in the beginning of it, and I'm going to introduce this gentleman, who I would consider one of my Facebook friends right now online. I you know, when it comes to the Facebook world, I'm a pretty private person. But with this, you know, I don't spread much on Facebook other than the fact that you see what you see here. And of course, my watch passion, you know. And as I get to talk more and more people, more and more comes out, and you get to learn more about one another. But it's really cool. He's got a collection of over 226 watches. I can't even touch that. I have like 60 in my collection. And probably 30 of them are ones that I really, really like. You know, 25, 30. Probably say 30, that I actually consistently wear and absolutely love. Whereas the other ones are ones I just have in my collection. This gentleman has watches that are extremely outside my price range, so it's going to be a lot of fun to have him do a style or review like I'm doing, and I will introduce him and share that with you guys so you can see some watches, not only by Invicta, but other brands that I cannot necessarily, I won't say necessarily afford, but this gentleman is able to, has the ability to he had deeper pockets than me. He's able to pick up watches that, you know, that he likes. I'm not saying I necessarily like the watches, but it's going to be really interesting to see some stuff, maybe some different stuff. And I'm really interested to share that with you guys because 2,700 of you are watching. So move forward. I just wanted to put that out there and tell you guys about it. Let's move forward with the side-by-side. So again, I show you the watch, what it looks like on the wrist. That's what my channel is really known for. For some of you who may have are watching me over and over again might have fast forwarded by now to get to the meat of the video here, but I think that stuff was important to mention. So let's start off right here. This is the Invicta Zeus Bolt, and this one here is your Invicta Subaqua Specialty. Now your Subaqua line has many different Subaquas in that particular line, from the regular Subaqua Specialty all the way up from the Noma 1 through 5. Pretty soon here, the Noma 6 is going to be coming out. I absolutely love the Nomas. The Noma 5 was Noma 3 was one of the first Invictus I purchased, and since then I was like, I gotta get a 5, and I haven't gotten any other ones yet, but I am going to pick up Noma 4 next, and probably another Noma 5. It's one of my favorite watches. It is absolutely beautiful. If you haven't checked out that video, check out my other video. Remember to go check out my other videos. A lot of you check out the most recent video, and you forget that I have over 270 videos on my playlist. So by all means, go check those out, and you can discover a lot more other cool Invicta watches. So let's move forward. I'm going to tell you the model numbers of these watches. This again, let's start with the Zeus Bolt. This is your Zeus Bolt. This is model number, I'm going to be looking to another screen here, okay, just so I can give you a little bit of information and then go ahead and tell you the model number. Oh, I'm going to have to look it up here. This one's an old listing. I'm using an old ad here because this one here is getting very difficult to find right now, so you're going to have a hard time finding it. You're looking at model number 127, I believe this one's the 39, but the print on these things is so small. Okay, 12739. This is done in your brushed finish yellow tone gold. And this particular one, you have a combination of textures. And a lot of Invicta watches do a combination of textures, even if it's just one color, which is what really makes the watch stand out. And what I always tell people in my videos is that you just can't tell in the video the differences in textures until you get it home. So if you like the way it looks on the video, you're absolutely going to love how it looks when you get it home. And so with this particular one, again, 12739, it's done in my favorite color combination ever on any watch, yellow tone and rose tone gold. Those are my two favorites. I think the color combo gives a nice contrast, and it's just so rich looking. And let me tell you, it stands out on your wrist. There's not a day. I probably deal, in my job, I probably deal with over 1,000 people a day that see me and interact with me. And every single day, I get at least 5 to 10 compliments on my watch. And that's probably another 5 to 10 that people, I can see them looking, but they may not be, they may not feel comfortable complimenting someone. A lot of people are like that. Even if they like what you got, they may not compliment it. And not for any reason of jealousy or anything like that. Just the fact that they're not people who compliment. So it's nothing personal, of course. So this one here, again, let me get back to the textures. You have the whole case on this one here is done in a brushed finish yellow gold plating. Okay. Then of course you have on this one here on your clasp, you have it done in a rose tone, but the rose tone is a matte finish on this, almost like a sandblasted, but I believe it's called matte. It doesn't have the brushing. You can't really see the texture of the brushed stainless. It's more of just a matte finish, okay? And then of course on this one here you have your rose tone cabling system, which all the Zeus bolts have. You have your rose tone cabling around the bezel. This one's done with, again, matte finish pushers that are rose tone. And then you have rose tone on the face, it's a matte finish, and then around your chronographs. And you have, for the polishing, you have rose tone polished hands, and I think that's about it for the rose tone. Yeah. You see, actually on the sides here, I just now noticed this, to hold your band on, you have rose tone pins on the sides, okay? As far as the yellow tone, again, you have your brush finish on the case, on most of the case. You have a satin finish around the bezel in yellow tone, and then you have a polishing of rose tone on the sides of the case and the side of the band, and then beneath your cabling on the side, on the inside of the watch, you have again that matte finish. So you have two different colors on this one and 3 different finishes on this, which really makes the watch almost look like it has a contrast of really 5 different textures and colors. So you have a lot of different things on this popping because there's a difference in either color or texture. And again, also what I forgot to mention, which in this video you cannot see how beautiful it is, but the face is not black. This is a brown mother of pearl. Now that's going to be different. Mother of pearl is different across the board. So you may get one that has a much nicer mother of pearl color, maybe a little bit lighter. I got one that's very, very dark. So in most lighting circumstances here, it almost looks black. But when you get it in some real bright lighting, you can definitely see that it is a brown mother of pearl and there is a rainbow hue to it, okay? A little bit more about the watch. You have a 52 millimeter case. Some people say 53, close enough. And that's just on your bezel, of course. And on this, the bezel is the widest part on the watch, just from these two sides here, excluding your crown and pushers, which really, Invicta watches all really should be measured to crown and pushers because it adds so much to the watch. It makes it a bigger watch. As far as the length of the watch, I always have to do this, but the length of the watch in this particular one, you're looking at closer to 65 millimeters. So you can't really consider this a round watch because you have so much meat in the lengthwise or the height position right here, if I'm saying that correctly. It's a really large watch. And then, of course, in case thickness, you have 21.5 millimeters of case thickness. So it's almost as thick as your Venom watch, and if you have a Venom, you know how thick that watch is. What else on this one here? It's powered by a 5040 Ronda Swiss movement. Again, that's a Swiss movement. That doesn't mean the whole watch is made in Switzerland. So if you're buying an Invicta and you hear that they're not made in Switzerland, don't get mad and say they're full of shit. That's the way Swiss movements work. You're going to have Swiss watches that are made completely in Switzerland, and you have movements and parts of movements made in Switzerland. So nonetheless, that's what the Swiss made, I guess, logo or insignia, however you want to call it, means. That's what they've decided it means, and that's what it is. So you can argue left and right and complain left and right if you hate Invicta, but that's the way it is. It's a Swiss-made watch. That's it. Over and done with. What else in this one here? Oh, you do have luminescence around the face, on the hands, and of course around your number markings right there. You don't have numbers on this, of course. And then what else? 8.5 inches in band length and 34 millimeters in width. This band is very, very complicated. There's a lot of parts on it, and it really is beautiful. Oh, and weight, 14 ounces unsized, so you're getting close to a pound. What else? That's really about it for the main stuff. I'm going to go ahead and throw it on the wrist after I talk about the other one here, and then I'll show you side by side. Next one here, beautiful watch. Surprised I waited so long to get it. Subaqua specialty. Let me just switch pages here so I can give you a little more specs on it. I'm going to start off with the specs. This was powered by a 5050E Swiss Ron, the movement. The only difference here is you have, well, naturally there's a visual difference, but you have the day of the week in the middle right here. You see the hand is actually designed to fit around or carved around that particular day of the week. Then you have your day of the month and your chronograph function like anything else. And I don't have a 5050E, so that's a new one for me as far as movements. A lot of 5040Ds, like in the Zeus, a lot of that movement. You'll find that a lot of the Invicta watches use the same movements, like your Z60s and that kind of stuff. So they're all decent movements. I haven't had any problems with them. Of course, your watch snobs, I like to call them, who only wear Rolex, which, let's face it, has to be serviced as well, guys. You know, just because you pay a lot doesn't mean it's good, okay? I always got to put it out there, but I know some of you hate hearing it, but I'm going to keep doing it. What else? Screw down function pushers on this one here. That includes the crown and pushers. On the Zeus, you only have the crown that's screwed down. Your classic deployment clasp on this one here, and you know, flame fusion crystal. 9 inches in band length. You have a little more length, so if you're a big guy, this is going to fit. 31 millimeters on band width. Of course, 20 millimeters on case thickness, and this one here is not listed, but it's 13 ounces in weight. And then, of course, you have a case, which I know is 51 millimeters, not including your crown pushers. On this one here, you have very small crown pushers, so that is more realistic measurement on this particular watch. A little bit about the color on this one here. This, again, has a lot of textures I did not know until I got it. This is done in a brushed finish yellow tone gold. Not a lot of rose in this one here, but this is the only color combo I can get this watch in with this much rose and yellow, so I picked this one over all of them, and the price was right on this. And the price is still right on both these, so if you want to get them, I'll put a link in the description of this video so you can still get them through eBay. They're direct links for the best sellers that I recommend, and get them while you can because, I mean, like I said, the watches jump up in price when the availability is out there. So right now you have a shot. Let's see what else. Okay, so you have your brush finish yellow tone gold on the entire case. Pretty much all the whole case, most of the bands, but what's cool is that you have, and you can't really see it so well in the video, but you have brush finish on the side, and then you have a matte finish down the center. So you can see a contrast when you get it. Brush finish on the side of the band as well. And then, of course, the case itself, the pushers are a matte finish, non-brushed, okay? And then you have just a polished finish on the actual pusher, which is within the sleeve here. And then, of course, you have a polished bezel just on the sides, which would I'd consider a gear-edged bezel. And then you have your this one here. You have rose tone polished numbers and a matte finish rose tone bezel. And then you have your actual screw down case back here with a little bit of rose tone on there as well. And then some brushed rose tone, or I'm sorry, matte finish. Excuse me, there's only finish on this rose tone. Highlighting your chronograph and a rose tone hands that are polished. So I think I touched on everything there. The Invicta Subaqua Specialty is an amazing watch because it has what's called a case and cradle. So the watch is actually encased in this cradle or this housing. And I forgot to mention, you can also see that the inside of the watch is actually carved, and that is a yellow tone in a matte finish, not a brush finish. So you can see the color contrast pretty well on this particular angle. You have your Invicta Reserve logo on the side here, carved in, which means that this is a 5-year automatic warranty. And you have your polished logo right in the center of your crown as well. A gorgeous watch. What I would call a skeleton case with the case and cradle is very, very unique to look at. You can really see the depth and the, I guess, you know, there's a lot going on in this watch, so I'm trying to say here. Alright, so, what did it look like on the wrist? The important stuff here. Let me go ahead and throw it on here. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Zeus bolt on my left wrist, which is generally where I wear my watches. I don't really wear them on the right, unless I'm going to do a video like this. Because, let's face it, folks, most important part of buying a watch is seeing what it's going to look like on the person. Now, I weigh about 175 pounds. 170, 75, something like that. I weigh about, I have a 7-inch wrist, okay, and I am about 5'8" talll, 5'7" without shoes. So again, 7-inch wrist. All these watches look big on me. And also, just want to touch on something. Some guys, they message me all the time. I have small wrists. I have a 6-inch wrist, 6.5-inch wrist. You know, will it look too big? No, it will not. I mean, it's going to look big. And if you don't like a big watch, you're probably looking at the wrong models. You might want to get in something smaller. But these watches are big watches on any wrist, plain and simple. But when you have a 6-inch wrist, yes, you're going to have enough room to size it. Yes, it's going to look big. And yes, you're going to get compliments on it. Guaranteed. Nobody's going to look at your wrist, ever. Nobody's ever looked at my wrist once and said, that watch is ugly, ever. Never. So, and you know, maybe people are being nice too, but I've gotten the number of compliments I've gotten on these things. I can almost guarantee that you are going to get compliments on these things, and that's just fact. So let me just show you what it looks like here. Here's your Zeus bolt on a 7-inch wrist. You see the detail on the side with your two-tone right there, your rose and yellow. You can see the intricate band. And get it from the side. See how high it sticks up. And you can see the difference here, side by side. See, the Zeus bolt is a little bit bigger, but they're both very thick watches. And side by side right here. I tell you, on this specialty right here on top, I really am impressed at how much I like the band. By looking at it on the video, or on not the video, but looking at it at pictures before I bought it, I was kind of like, gosh, it's kind of a generic band, but when you get it, it really is not a generic band, and it just blows me away every single time that I get an Invicta watch, how impressed I am with the quality, and of course, the way it looks on the wrist. And guys, I have over 60 watches in my collection, and like I said, about 25, 30 of them are Invicta, or probably about 20 of them are Invicta watches, and that number keeps growing. I don't really know how many I have right now. They're an amazing watch, and in 2 years, I have not had any issues with the watches, and I'm always honest with you guys on the quality, because you do get people who hate on Invicta, mainly because they hate on everything probably in their life. They'll hate on anything that they don't like, because they have nothing better to do. But the point is that in 2 years, I've had zero problems with my watches, other than the one that I got that was defective, that had to get sent back. And that can happen with anything. Anything out there that can happen with. So now we're going to do what I normally do here. And again, these are unedited videos, except for the new ones I'm going to be putting up with my new friend. He's going to do some reviews on some stuff I can't get. And I just want to take you into another room here and show you again what it looks like with some little bit brighter lighting and a little bit different lighting. It isn't as natural as lighting as we were in my office there. You can see it kind of has like more of a bluish tint to it, like natural overcast weather does to light. Let me turn this lamp too so you can really get a little bit brighter shot here. I'll get back a little ways so you can see what it looks like a little bit from a little bit of a distance. They're so nice. I want to wear it too, but let's face it, that is over the top, and I'm not going to do that. Even though I'm an over the top kind of guy, not going to go that far over the top. So there you go, folks. That was my quick review. Well, I shouldn't say quick review because we're in this right now 24 minutes. But that was my review of the Invicta Subaqua Specialty and the Zeus Bolt, both done in a rose and yellow tone color combination. My absolute favorite. Guys, thank you so much for watching the channel. If you like the videos, please go ahead and subscribe. If you want to pick up these watches, check the link in the description. This will take you to real-time listings. What it'll take you to first is, because I'm going to use this link that I already created. It's my favorite two-tone yellow and rose watches by Invicta. Go ahead and click that. That'll take you to my website, Fat Cat Watches, where you can get this stuff through the places that I recommend. And you can just, when you see the pictures, go ahead and click the one you like. It'll take you to the live eBay listings as far as what's available, and from those sellers again that I recommend. and get this while you can. Because let me tell you, I'll be honest with you, I paid about $250 for this one around Christmas. Right now, the price has jumped up to $339 shipped. And that's a great deal for this watch because I paid $300 for my silver one. So right now is a time to buy this because when the price jumps, you won't be able to find it. The next price up from this is $500. This one here, you still pick up for about, what did I pay, about $250, $260. But once they're gone, they're gone. Then you got to wait for them. And sometimes these things don't come back. You know, certain color combos aren't always the most popular sometimes. Just like you'll see on the page, there's a Venom watch, which I had to return because it was defective. And that one was sold on the false pretenses. The guy shipped it to me with it falling apart, and they knew that. So then that was nothing to do with the Invicta quality. That had to do because they basically messed the watch up somehow. So, but that one you can't find right now anywhere on the internet. And so get these while you can, folks. That's all I'm going to say. If it's within your means to get them, these are fantastic watches to have in your collection if you like these color combos. And if you don't, still click the links and search for the color combo you like. There's all kinds of information on my website. Also, again, find me on Facebook. If you look at my channel, if you just want a direct link to that, go to my channel, okay, Fat Cat, well, I'm going to change the name soon. But you just go to the channel and right in the top where it shows the picture, you'll see an eBay link. That's to the eBay store, the Facebook link, and, of course, some other link, I think, to the website or something like that. So that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have anything, if you own these watches, again, make a comment. But also, if you like commenting and you're really into these Invicta watches, just go to Facebook and friend request me there. All right, folks, thanks again. And as always, have a great day.